Thanks again to Mind, Body, Soul. I'll just give you a quick little rundown of how the three of us came to be, because it's usually the first question, well, why three of you and all of that. So Flick and I have known each other since we were about 10. We've been all the way through school together. Julie is my sister, so obviously I've known her whole life. She was in the grade above Flick and I. So Julie and Flick didn't actually know each other all that well until I sort of, brought these all together. So Flick has actually had, 12 years ago I think, got diagnosed with scleroderma. So she's been on the path of collecting recipes, making new food for herself for quite a long time, and had this project about doing a book for ages, which I always knew about. And it wasn't really until I started having a few digestive issues of my own and various things that I thought, I need to change my food too, and took a leaf out of her book and then said, well, I'm actually going to need your book now, so when are you going to finish it, And her daughter Maggie was only 1, and I sort of went, well, come on, we'll have to finish it. And I could see that she was struggling and was going to have quite a bit of difficulty doing that, so I said, okay, well, I'll help you. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to bake the recipes, we need someone to photograph them and lay it all out in a book. So of course I rang my sister, who's a graphic designer by trade, and was starting to get into photography. So she wanted a little project on the side, and so that's how it all sort of came together, and we just sort of jumped in and started doing it. And of course, when you do that, you never realise just how long it's going to take you and how involved the process is going to be. But it was great, we all loved it, and we've sort of formed a business around it. It's not just about the one book anymore, so it's been a great journey and we're all really loving it. Anyway, I'll let Flick tell you a bit more about her story, which is the crux of the whole thing.
Hello everyone, and thank you again for coming. It's really a very humbling experience to come and be at an event and have people turn up. We've had the pleasure of having a lot of very interested people wherever we go turn up, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are really wanting to make some changes in their life, and they might be feeling so well, or they might want to stay well. And I just can't believe in the 7 years it's been since I started working on the book, just how the momentum has picked up. It really was, I had to Google the word paleo 7 years ago, and I really didn't find very much when I did that. But now it's on everybody's lips, it's cafes, it's whatever. So there's a lot of interest, and it really helps us because we have interested people like you turn up to events that we host. So my story started 13 years ago, as Kate said. I was very unwell, I wasn't sure why. I started developing arthritis type symptoms. I was waking up in the morning, and the thing that actually got my diagnosis from my GP was that my hands and feet would swell up like footballs, and they were very painful. My feet were very painful to walk on. I had chronic fatigue. I had the most incredibly dry body. I felt like I was just like as parched as a desert. I had very stiff hands. My skin was very hard. It's very hard to know where to stop when you start carrying on about all the symptoms I had, but it made it very hard to actually go to a doctor and say, I've got a sore arm and a sore knee and a sore foot and my head and everything hurts. But I was lucky enough to have a fantastic GP that actually pretty much said, I think I know what you've got. So that was 13 years ago. I now have 4 beautiful, healthy children. But along the path of having babies, my specialist, who I was referred to, said that when you've finished having your children, we'd like to put you on some medication to slow down the onset of the disease. And that's always, to have a specialist say, when you've finished having your babies, it always made me feel that, oh gosh, what's in these drugs if they affect, your fertility? So that always worried me, but then she started mentioning the drugs that she would give me, and I googled them, and they just freaked me right out. You know, it was scroll down the page and it told you all the things about this drug. I kept telling her every time I saw it too, oh no, I don't think we're finished having our family, no. So I thought that would buy me a bit of time. But eventually I thought, no, well, 4 babies is enough. And mind you, every time I was pregnant, my symptoms all went into remission, so I felt fantastic. I could have been pregnant forever, really. Practicality step in, but so I thought, no, I'm going to try a healthy track first before I have to take this drug. So I went to a natural healer in Toowoomba, and he said, okay, I can heal you, give me 2 years, but you've got to go home and take yourself off gluten, dairy, yeast, egg and refined sugar for 3 months, and we'll do an elimination diet and we'll see if any of those foods trigger your symptoms. He also said to take myself off alcohol and caffeine, which I did too, but I figure that's a whole different book. One for alcohol and one for caffeine. So that I thought, right, okay, and that was really quite confronting for me because I'm a great food lover. I always have been. I've always loved baking and cooking and buying food and preparing it and trying different ingredients, and so it was really a sad day, really sad day. I lived on bread, I loved cheese, and oh, it was devastating. But I was also excited about the challenge and about trying some different ingredients, so I was really excited about that. Anyway, I set the date and I started this elimination diet, and after 2 weeks on that diet, I could not believe how good I felt. I felt so great, it gave me energy to keep going, but I was already excited because my symptoms really started simmering down. I mean, I wasn't even sure what food it was that was actually doing that. But I felt fantastic. I couldn't believe. I started to realise what my symptoms were when I didn't have them anymore. So it was hard for me to list them before, but once I started getting up in the morning and feeling great, I'd go, oh, my big toe isn't aching for 5 minutes after I get out of bed. And all of these things started, you know, I couldn't believe how great I felt. And I also realised that when you take away pain and chronic pain out of your day, it frees up your head to actually do more positive things. I was really blown away by the fact that I had this headspace now that I could focus on other things that just weren't obvious to me beforehand. So that actually gave me the idea straight away that I would like to write a book, and a recipe book that with gluten, dairy, yeast, egg and refined sugar free recipes. And Kate explained what happened. I plugged along through a few babies, and I was making progress, but it was very slow, and the girls came on board and helped me out, and we've created this beautiful book. I couldn't have done it without the 2 girls, but we're very excited, and we've had a great response from it. We had a great response in the States. And I remember Googling about 6 years ago, I wanted to see if anyone else had written a book that was gluten, dairy, yeast, egg and refined sugar free, and I couldn't find one. There's all sorts of derivatives, but I think to date there still isn't one. So we have a unique book, we think, but it's also got a very positive spin, because the last thing I wanted was to actually write a book and for it to be a bit of a pity party, because I just didn't think that that was a very constructive way to heal yourself, to be talking about how sick you were. So I was so fortunate to be working with 2 incredibly talented and positive people to help bring about a very positive book that is quite uplifting, we think, through the photos and the way it's formatted. So yeah, I hope you like the book. Please tell us if you buy a book today. Thank you very much. Please let us know what you like about it. We'd love some feedback.
Yeah, we'd love to have some testimonials from people, and when you try the recipes and how you think they go and all of that sort of stuff.
But I wish you all well. Thank you so much again for coming.
We might just get Jules to read this quote she found today.
Yes. Which really we thought was...
Yeah, this is very interesting, Carol. I bought this book today from your beautiful shop out there, and just happened to open it up at this page and read, when you have problems in your body, it's actually your body sending you a message to change your actions. If your best friend was giving you some good advice, wouldn't you thank them? Your body is also your best friend. Thanking it for sending you a message causes you to experience a change of consciousness in your entire body. And that really sums up friendship food. The philosophy that really just evolved when the three of us started working together. We've got a lot in common, but there's some uniqueness that just created a great synergy, I suppose you'd say. I've always been on quite a spiritual path. Kate, my sister, has been very pragmatic, and she's now studying nutrition and very interested in the body and all of that side of it. And Flick, from her experience of having gone through this journey and come out the other end with a very clear head, no brain fog, is really appreciating the power of the mind in all of this. So it's very much a mind, body, spirit project, and heart. I suppose that's the essence of it, that it means a lot to all of us, and we've put that into the book and consciously created that energy, I suppose. Flick and I working together, particularly on the words, moulding them, and the pictures, and all of it is to be as uplifting and positive and healing as it can be. So we hope you enjoy it and you get something great from it.
Hopefully it helps all of you as well.